Hello.
Hello.
I haven't sung in a while.
Thank goodness.
Welcome back to another episode of Wicked
Mysterious.
I'm your host, Danie.
And I'm Katie.
And I don't know what episode this is.
23, I think.
I think it's 24.
Ooh, we just keep getting higher and higher.
Stop it.
I think we have to say it now. It's like
one of those things, at least for me, that gets funnier every time we say it. The longer it goes on, the funnier it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is 24.
Look at that. I was right.
Wow.
For once.
Wow.
Well, 24, almost at 25. Can you believe it? That means we've literally uploaded 24 weeks worth, more than 24 weeks worth, because we're not counting the minis.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's 24 every other week, so it's like 48 weeks. Is that right? There's only 52 weeks in a year.
Well, we are kind of coming up to the year,
yeah,
right?
We are.
September?
Yeah, September 9th, I think, is our 1 year.
We got to do something special.
Yeah, we should.
That's my stepdad's birthday, I think. Sorry, Joel, if I'm wrong, but I don't think he listens anyway, so I think we're good.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, we have to do something special. All right, cool.
A birthday party.
Yeah.
And we're in our new setup today.
We are. You can't see it, but
not yet.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. I really like it.
It is. It's a custom table.
Yes.
Yep, a custom, what is this called? A
table.
Yeah, but it's like conference, right? Conference table kind of?
Yeah, I guess, but it's more square.
Yeah.
Than a conference table. But yes, that's what we were aiming for.
I did not know that a conference table had a defined shape, but now I know. I learn something every day. I thought a conference table was just a large table that had like spots for wires and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever. We made it that. It's fucking awesome. And we're in a new space.
Yes.
And we have new mics.
Yes.
And Danny's reminding me to stay back because I'm too close to the mic.
I keep doing it too. So I apologize in advance. I am not an audio engineer by any means.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
We'll get better, and we've got ideas to make it a little bit more better. So
yeah, just a little bit.
I have a tale for you today.
I'm excited.
A wild tale.
Ooh.
And this one goes pretty deep.
All right.
6,000 feet deep.
Ooh,
in fact. So this episode suggestion came from our TikTok follower named Thunderous Elk.
Thank you, Thunderous Elk.
Yes, thank you for the very interesting topic.
I love the names.
I know.
Love the names.
I know. So today's episode is about dun, 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 the mysteries of the Grand Canyon.
Ooh.
With 6 million visitors per year, the breathtaking views of the Grand Canyon are hard to put into words. I've seen some TikToks lately about this popular national park. In one video, someone was asking how it's possible that the Grand Canyon was formed by the Colorado River. The Grand Canyon is 227 miles long, 6,000 feet deep, and 18 miles wide. 18 miles wide.
Wide, yeah. That's insane. Wide. Wow. That's some...
Certainly is grand. It is so massively huge, the Native Americans called it Kabob, meaning upside down mountain.
Wow.
The TikToker that I saw in this video was asking how it's possible for a river alone to carve such a massive canyon, challenging what we're traditionally taught in school. However, a very simple Google search proved that that's obviously only half of the story. The Grand Canyon was actually formed by tectonic activity, specifically a tectonic uplift.
Ooh.
This is when tectonic plates shift upward, making the Earth's crust higher than the land around it. Mountain ranges are also caused by tectonic uplift. Then, from there, water from rivers and glaciers began to erode the edges of the canyon, causing it to become deeper and deeper. But this process can take millions of years. No one really knows how old the Grand Canyon is, but it's estimated to be between 5 million to 70 million years old.
Whoa.
The reason no one can accurately date the age of the canyon is a mystery in itself. From nationalparkexpress.com, it states, quote, more than 1 billion years of rock are missing from the walls. In some areas, rocks that are 1.4 to 1.8 billion years old have been found directly under the rock that is only 520 million years old. This is a big problem when it comes to dating the rocks in the canyon. There are various theories about parts of the rock getting washed away, but no one truly knows why so much of the canyon is missing. This kind of problem is called the Great Unconformity and has been found in a handful of places. Slightly off topic, but during my research, I found that erosion in canyons can cause ledges that are shaped like stairs, and it was common for Native Americans to build homes under these ledges. Known as known as cliff dwellings, these apartment-style buildings were cut into the limestone on the cliffs. Some of these more well-known dwellings are located in Walnut Canyon National Monument, Montezuma Castle National Monument, and Tonto National Monument, all in Arizona. And these were considered to be the first apartment buildings.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Wicked.
This might be common knowledge to people who have been to this part of the country, but I haven't yet.
Yeah.
So I've never seen anything like this. So the pictures were just amazing.
Yeah. Grand.
Very grand. The Grand Canyon is a sacred place in Native American culture. In fact, tribes are still fighting for recognition from the U.S. Parks Department, who historically claimed the area as a national park in 1919, leaving out all traces of Native American history. This just sucks. When settlers came to northern Arizona, they renamed trails from their original beautiful names. In an article titled, Not Your Playground, Indigenous Voices on Grand Canyon's Centennial, from Arizona Public Radio, Jack Pongavesa of the Hopi tribe said, quote, the Bright Angel Trail our people call Gatav He'e, Gatav He'e. That's because of the trees, the way the branches are. The leaf part of it is how my dad explained it to me. It means Gatav He'e, that's Coyote Tail Trail, because it's bushy at the end. 11 different tribes consider the canyon as sacred land. Pongavesa reminds us that this is not a playground and the area must be treated with respect. They want the U.S. Parks Department to honor Native American tradition by using the trail names that were already in place when the U.S. Parks Department came in and just took over. In that same article from Arizona Public Radio, I found this quote. He says Native culture and environmental protection are closely linked, but parks were founded on the false idea of untouched wilderness. He says, quote, and they've used that myth against Native people. They've used it to keep us out of participation in management. They've used it to keep us out of park areas where we've lived for time immemorial. In an episode of America on Earth, called Egyptian Treasure, Discovered in the Grand Canyon, they brought up a great point that the U.S. government does an absolutely wonderful job at keeping us out of the Grand Canyon under the guise of safety, yet people are allowed to do other dangerous things, like jump out of an airplane, buy cigarettes, taxed of course, bungee jumping, and even going on a trip in a submersible to the Titanic wreckage made of carbon fiber, just to name a few things.
Yeah.
I know the Titan sub wasn't exactly up to par by safety standards, but I'm just saying nobody stopped them. That being said, the Titanic wreckage is at a depth of 12,500 feet, more than double the depth of the Grand Canyon. But we can go down there, but we can't go in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Interesting.
Why?
Yeah, why?
In 1909, 10 years before the Grand Canyon became a national park, a newspaper called the Phoenix Gazette published a story on their front page called Explorations in the Grand Canyon. This was on April 9th. The article discusses an archaeological expedition sponsored by the Smithsonian Institute and led by a professor named S.A. Jordan and an archaeologist named G.E. Kincaid. In the America Unearthed episode from the History Channel, which you can watch free on YouTube, the host has a copy of this newspaper article that they're referencing. The article is pretty lengthy. It is available online, and it goes into great detail, but in part states, the latest news of the progress of the explorations of what is now regarded by scientists as not only the oldest archaeological discovery in the United States, but one of the most valuable in the world, which was mentioned some time ago in the Gazette, was brought to the city yesterday by G.E. Kincaid, the explorer who found the great underground citadel of the Grand Canyon during a trip from Green River, Wyoming, down the Colorado in a wooden boat to Yuma several months ago. According to the story related to the Gazette by Mr. Kincaid, the archaeologists of the Smithsonian Institute, which is financing the expeditions, have made discoveries which almost conclusively prove that the race which inhabited the mysterious cavern, hewn in solid rock by human hands, was of Oriental origin, possibly from Egypt, tracing back to Ramses. The article goes on to say, if their theories are born out of translation of the tablets engraved with hieroglyphs, the mystery of the prehistoric peoples of North America, their ancient arts, who they were, and whence they came will be solved. Egypt and the Nile and Arizona and the Colorado River will be linked by a historic chain running back to ages, which staggers the wildest fantasy of the fictionist. The article goes on to describe how and where the cave entrance was located. Quote, some 42 miles upriver from the El Tovar Crystal Canyon, I saw on the east wall stains on the sedimentary formation about 2,000 feet above the riverbed. There was no trail to this point, but I finally reached it with great difficulty. Above a shelf which hid it from view from the river was the mouth of the cave. There are steps leading from this entrance some 30 yards to what was, at the time the cavern was inhabited, to the level of the river.
Okay.
When I saw the chisel marks on the wall inside the entrance, I became interested, securing my gun, and went in. During that trip, I went back several hundred feet along the main passage till I came to the crypt in which I discovered the mummies. On one of these I stood up and photographed by flashlight. I gathered a number of relics which I carried down the Colorado to Yuma, where I whence shipped them to Washington with details of the discovery. Following this, explorations were undertaken. So this guy is saying that he was going down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon on a wooden boat, looked up, saw a cave, went into the cave, and found Egyptian relics and mummies.
The cave, as in, like you said, the mouth of. So I know that there's like speculation that Google Maps saw a door in the Grand Canyon. Like I've never seen it myself. I just know I've heard of this before. Would that be what you're talking about? Like that he saw a door, like a doorway?
No, not a doorway, just a cave.
Hole?
Yeah, like the door to a cave.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about the Google Map door, because I've never seen it, but I just Googled it quick and it did come up.
Oh, really?
So we should look later and see.
Yeah.
But yeah, like some fucking crazy. Google Maps picks up the craziest shit.
Interesting.
It really does. So he was going down the river and he went in and found mummies.
Yeah, and relics and like a whole shrine.
Like so insane.
So yeah, inside he found a, quote, nearly mile-long tunnel underground, about 1,480 feet. It's very specific. Below the surface. The main package.
I'm just thinking that sounds horrible.
What?
Like this passageway that deep under.
Yeah.
Like that sounds, no.
Yeah. The long main passage has been delved into to find another mammoth chamber from which radiates scores of other passages, like the spokes of a wheel. Ooh. End quote. He found a shrine, a crypt, hieroglyphs, tools made of copper.
Wow.
About the crypt, the article states, quote, "The tomb or crypt in which the mummies were found is one of the largest of the chambers, the walls slanting back at an angle of about 35 degrees. On these were tiers of mummies, each one occupying a separate hewn shelf. At the head of each is a small bench on which is found copper cups and pieces of broken swords. Some of the mummies are covered with clay and are all wrapped in a dark fabric. The urns or cups on the lower tiers are crude, while as the higher the shelves are reached, the urns are finer in design, showing a later stage of civilization. It is worthy of note that the mummies examined so far have proved to be male, no children or females being buried here. This leads to the belief that this exterior section was the warriors' barracks." End quote. But guess what? This article by the Phoenix Gazette, although a real article, was written as a hoax, supposedly.
What?
But why?
But why?
Apparently, newspapers all over during this time period fell victim to Joe Mulhattan, also known as the Great Liar. He would write to newspapers with wild stories for no other reason than the excitement of getting one over on the newspaper. The newspapers, knowingly or unknowingly, printed the story to sell the paper.
Oh, jeez.
There's actually a website. It might be a physical location, I'm not sure, but it's called the Museum of Hoaxes. And they state that Mulhattan worked in the 1870s and 1880s. He was quoted as saying, "No one is hurt by my little novels. Nobody's morals are corrupted, and all are entertained and sometimes instructed." Little did he know how his writings would affect history, with many of his embellished tales outliving him and being taken at face value over 100 years later. He was responsible for other hoaxed articles such as the largest meteor ever known falls in Texas, and even the disappearance of David Lang, where a man vanished in front of numerous witnesses. Those were both hoaxes. He was even nominated for president. There were multiple reports of his death ranging from 1901 to 1904. He could be an entire episode on its own, but I'll end it there.
So there was no mummies.
I don't know.
I was going to say, I can't believe I never knew that they found mummies in the Grand Canyon.
So the article that came out that people are referring to prove that these artifacts were there came out in April of 1909.
Okay.
So just before that, on March 12th, 1909, just a few weeks before that front page article, a small blurb read, "G.E. Kincaid reaches Yuma." G.E. Kincaid of Lewiston, Idaho, arrived in Yuma after a trip from the Green River, Wyoming, down the entire course of the Colorado River. He is the second man to make this journey and came alone in a small skiff, stopping at his pleasure to investigate the surrounding country. He left Green River in October, having a small covered boat with oars and carrying a fine camera, which he secured over 700 views of the river and canyons which were unsurpassed. Mr. Kincaid says one of the most interesting features of the trip was passing through the sluiceways, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, at Laguna Dam. He made this perilous passage with only the loss of one oar. Some interesting archaeological discoveries were unearthed, and altogether the trip was of such interest that he will repeat it next winter in the company of friends. So to me, it doesn't sound like this was a hoax by the Great Liar. Not only was the news story of Egyptian artifacts 20 years after the Great Liar's heyday, but I didn't read of any other two-part articles that he was responsible for. It's possible that Joe planted the March story first to make the April story more believable, and the Smithsonian receives a few calls every year where they explain that no one by the name of G.E. Kincaid has ever worked with the Smithsonian, and they attribute this story to be a hoax. Also, there were no photos ever surfaced of the cave or the treasure inside, or his trip for that matter.
Yeah, and he did say that he did take photos, right?
Yes.
And those would be exposed, I'm sure, unless they were hidden.
Why?
From us.
I think they were.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again,
Could be.
Don't trample my imagination.
Yeah,
I have people
don't
out there,
stomp
friends
on
out
my-
there. It's probably a hoax, but I like to
Dude.
think of possibilities. Imagine.
Yeah.
There are some people that are die hard for this, though. Like,
Yeah.
so there's a lot more.
Oh, good.
Pueblo tribes in the area have the belief that the Grand Canyon is not only sacred, but the Hopi people believe in Sipapu, which means place of emergence or womb of the earth. Located in the Grand Canyon, Sipapu is believed to be a portal underground where their ancestors emerged from.
That I believe.
Mind blown.
I believe there's portals in the national forests.
Yes.
I do.
The Hopi people use something called kivas, which are holes in the ground that represent Sipapu, and use these areas for religious reasons. And I mean, no disrespect, so I hope I explained that properly. I'm not an expert. I read an article titled Sipapu, the Place of Emergence from TaosNews.com, and it said, quote, in 1963, Southwestern author Frank Walters wrote The Book of the Hopi. He said that as they stepped outside of the Sipapu, they morphed from lizard-like beings into Homo sapiens into human form. It is at this point that the first peoples of the earth began to divide and separate, creating differing tribes along the first journeys of our ancestors, end quote. And I'm going to read something from Wikipedia. I know it's not the best source, but it's called Four Worlds. Barry Pritzer writes, quote, according to Hopi legend, when time and space began, the sun spirit, Tawa, created the first world, in which insect-like creatures lived unhappily in caves. With the goal of improvement, Tawa sent a spirit called Spider Grandmother to the world below. Spider Grandmother led the first creatures on a long trip to the second world, in which they took on the appearance of wolves and bears. As these animals were no happier than the previous ones, however, Tawa created a new world, the third world, and again sent Spider Grandmother to convey the wolves and bears there. By the time they arrived, they had already become people. Spider Grandmother taught them weaving and pottery, and a hummingbird brought them a fire. It says a fire drill. I'm not sure what that means. Entrance into the fourth world as ancestral Puebloan petroglyph in Mesa Verde National Park. The boxy spiral shape near the center of the photo likely represents Sipapu, the place where the ancestral Puebloans emerged from the earth and their creation story. Two main versions exist as the Hopi's emergence into the present fourth world. In one version, after evil broke out amongst the people in the third world, with the help of the Spider Grandmother, or bird spirits, a hollow bamboo reed grew at the opening of the third world into the fourth world. This opening, known as Sipapu, is traditionally viewed as the Grand Canyon. According to Pritzer, the people with good hearts, kindness, made it to the fourth world. Now, I know I'm probably the only person obsessed with Van Tassel's messages, and I'm going to keep going back to that because, like, it's the connections when you're researching, it's crazy. So if you haven't listened to that episode, he was one of the first modern day ufologists who was thought to be a genuine contactee, and he received messages from extraterrestrials during meditation. So this version of the Hopi legend sounds a lot like his explanation of the third and fourth densities.
Oh, yeah.
As described to Van Tassel. And if you think about it, wouldn't, if you were an ancient civilization and you were sitting outside, you know, just meditating or just being, and you started getting these messages, wouldn't you think it was from God?
Yeah,
And if God is one consciousness, aren't we all getting the same messages and just interpreting it differently? Isn't that where like religions come from? And then I was also thinking about the importance of like oral tradition and storytelling, because they did know. They did receive these messages, and it's passed down generation to generation by storytelling, and it's important in their culture and most cultures.
Yeah.
And it's sad that that art is kind of lost and that the Grand Canyon was taken away from these people. It's something that's always bothered me, what we did. I say we, but it wasn't me, but what our ancestors did to Native people. It's
shitty.
It's horrible.
Really?
It's so horrible.
It is.
Do you have something to say?
I
continue?
I found the door.
Oh, cool.
And it's it took a little bit of searching, but it definitely is a pretty remarkable site because it's really high up on that side of the Grand Canyon. Like nobody human is walking in and out of that. You're on an edge, and I would say through maybe more than 3/4 the way up. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. That's pretty bizarre just to see that door. Like, for what? If this was created naturally, then that door would not exist. I'm sorry. There was people living in there. Aliens.
Yep.
Coming through their portal.
Yep. So if it's true that there was a cave with ancient Egyptian relics found, how did they get there? The strongest theory was that Alexander Helios brought these treasures from Egypt. He was the son of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. When Egypt was conquered by Rome, Alexander Helios disappeared. It's thought that he fled the country to escape, bringing with him all his family riches, including the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is thought to be the most sacred ancient relic. According to the Bible, it's a wooden box covered in gold that housed the Ten Commandments etched into 2 stone tablets. The plans for this box were supposedly given to Moses by God. The believed location of the cave is in such a precarious spot that it's virtually inaccessible. According to the America Unearthed episode, an archaeologist by the name of Jerry states that he and his wife have extensively researched the area of ancient Egyptian relics in the Grand Canyon. He states the only way to access this cave is by rappelling down the wall from the top using ropes and rock climbing gear, but that the cave is so far down into the canyon, explorers are not able to carry enough water to survive the entire descent. He claims that while his team was exploring, unmarked airplanes and helicopters, believed to be from the government, buzzed them to make their presence known and probably to scare them off. The cave is not visible from the top or the bottom of the canyon.
Wow, that is so cool.
Planes are not even allowed to descend past the rim of the Grand Canyon, per the Federal Aviation Administration.
Wow.
The Parks Department is emphatic that no one should enter these areas of the canyon, with reasons ranging from an endangered bat population in the caves to the dangerousness of the location near the South Rim. Mm-hmm. We know about the government's tendency to whitewash the past and to teach in schools that Christopher Columbus discovered America, mostly leaving out the fact that there were thousands of native people already here. But why would denying the existence of Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon benefit them? Is the answer that there is truly a portal to the underworld or a doorway to inner earth where ancient civilizations lived and could still be living today? Mm-hmm. And again, this reminds us of Darren Kuyu and Van Tassel's theory on people living in the hollowed out moon.
Yep.
And even present day conspiracy theorists talking of a doorway to another civilization being hidden from us and Antarctica.
Yeah.
So this is like our 4th episode that just happened to be about this, because every time I research something, it just comes back to this. And it's just, even when I think it has nothing to do with it, it still comes back to that. Mm-hmm. So we already have 3 different related episodes. So check those out if you're interested. It's Darren Kuyu, The Hollow Moon, and Van Tassel Solves the Universe. If you're interested in any of the different sources that agree upon an ancient civilization underground of probably reptilians.
Yeah, for sure.
So regardless of whether or not you subscribed to this brand of conspiracy theory, current exploration of the canyon leaves much to be desired. Though scientists believe there to be over 1,000 caves in the canyon, only a measly 300 of them have been explored. Whoa. Isn't that exciting?
And kind of sad. like, there's so much unknown.
I think that's exciting because we're trying to get to space and shit, thinking that we know the Mariana Trench and our oceans and all that stuff hasn't been explored, but there's still stuff that, like...
Yeah, I say explore the caves over the universe.
Oh, sure.
And the ocean depths. Like, we don't need... What was that called? Ocean Gate? We don't need Ocean Gate. We can fucking put down our little rover with a camera and see the Titanic. Like, haven't people seen the Titanic already?
Drones aren't even allowed in the Grand Canyon. Why?
Yeah, there's definitely something to be hidden.
Yeah.
There's definitely something to be hidden there.
There has to be.
Jinx. There has to be, for sure.
So, besides this lavish story about a cave of treasures, the Grand Canyon is home to some other strange stories. There are reports of their very own Bigfoot called the Mogollon Monster. He's described to be 7 feet tall and hairy with red eyes.
Ooh. He
supposedly smells terrible, with descriptions ranging from skunk to decaying peat moss to rotten fish.
What was the smell from the frogman? What was it? Almonds and
sassafras? No,
patchouli? No, it wasn't patchouli. Almonds and...
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Alfalfa.
Yeah. It didn't smell like almonds and alfalfa. That monster that you know of, he doesn't smell like almonds,
No, he just smells like shit.
Yeah. He's Bigfoot. Why do they have to call him something different?
It reminds me, again, our local Hockomock monster. I'll save my stories for that episode.
Hockomock.
Yeah.
Hockomock.
Place where spirits dwell. That's what that means.
Oh.
I can't wait for our Bridgewater Triangle episode. We should probably start researching.
We should go back again and we should tell about how scared Danie was walking through the woods, and it wasn't even dark. She was like, I saw the terror in your eyes.
There's not a whole lot of places that I feel like that about.
Yeah,
like,
and you were not having it.
No, my house is pretty haunted, and I just ignore it, and I'm fine with it. But I don't like that state forest.
You could feel the energy.
Yeah, it's no.
Yeah,
I get like nauseous thinking about it.
It was an adventure. We took videos.
I will do it for you, our listeners, but I don't want to. So this monster, this Bigfoot guy in the Grand Canyon, was reported to have been seen by an entire Boy Scout troop in the 1940s.
Cool. I like that.
There's also a cavern suite you can stay in the Grand Canyon.
Ooh.
Called Grand Canyon's Caverns Cave Room.
Of course there would be some way to make money off of tourists like that. Of course.
I would do it.
Like, you can't go in, you can't see basically shit.
Yeah.
But stay at our...
Let's make money off of it.
Yeah.
Okay, the sign reads, spend the night, ... in the Grand Canyon Caverns Cave Room.
You said it with so much enthusiasm, too.
In the cave room. One of the 10 most unusual places in the world to sleep. What do you think the other 9 are?
Wow. Probably in some sort of like...
Space Needle or some shit.
Yeah. Or like an underwater vessel.
No,
I seen that. Like you scuba dive to your room, your hotel room underwater.
No, thank you.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but I wouldn't do it.
No, you definitely wouldn't.
No, or the ice one.
You can like call to get a pizza delivery, and they fucking put your pizza in a waterproof bag, and they fucking scuba dive your pizza down to you.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
That's so ridiculous.
I know. It's an experience, but that has to be on the list. I'm just saying that has to be.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
So it says it's the oldest. The walls are 65 million years old. The deepest, 220 feet below the surface.
Wait, the room is deep?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's under.
It's in a cave, yeah.
Oh, in a cave.
Underground.
But not underwater.
No.
Just deep in the cave.
Yeah.
Underground, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the darkest. Trust us on this. Largest, 155 feet wide by 400 feet long and 75 feet high. It's the quietest. Nothing lives down here. It's just you breathing. Bomb shelter to shelter 2,000 people for weeks.
What?
And sleeps up to 6. Reservations are limited.
Yeah, I would love to know what a price for that is. Did you see?
No, I didn't look it up.
I can imagine.
Let's look it up.
Yeah.
What's it called? Grand Canyon Caverns Cave Room.
I don't know. When you said it the first time, I missed it.
I like how all of our jokes are just making fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
For not being able to speak or read fluently.
We always have material that way.
They have a ghost tour.
Oh, cool.
I'm not looking for a tour. I'm looking to sleep, though. Book a room.
Book a room.
It's not, I don't see it available online.
Maybe you have to have, like, maybe you have to
You
have...
can camp there.
Mm.
Sorry, what?
Maybe you have to have, like, inns with somebody to get... Because it did say reservations are limited. Maybe you need to, like...
limited.
You need to be a real special person. Like a VIP person. I don't know.
$1,000 per night.
I was just going to say, it's got to be at least a G.
Accommodating up to 6 guests, $1,000 per night. For 2 guests, $100 extra per guest.
Wow, that's whack. It should be 1,000, and then you'd be able to split it with your 6.
So it'd be 1,000 plus 6.
Right.
So divided by 6 would be what?
I would just say 2 guests.
Over $200 a person.
Yeah, I'd say forget the guests. I'm gonna just go for 1,000 and then split it 500 to 500. That's not that bad for that experience.
It's not even
Is it booking?
It says
let's book it.
We should. I'm not spending that kind of money.
No, but you'll go to a Blink-182 concert.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. Which was not worth it, by the way. I love you, Tom DeLonge. It says we offer fold-down futon and 2 queen beds. The Cavern Suite also has a functional RV-style bathroom. So you don't even get like a real bathroom. But they do have a library of books, DVDs, and a kitchenette.
Well, you're going to be entertained, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You can improve the experience by arranging a catered breakfast or dinner option.
Wow.
I'd love to stay there.
Definitely want room service for that.
Yeah, I think I would stay there. Maybe not with that much money, but for that much money, but I would. I would do it. And then we could record because there's supposedly ghosts in there.
Yeah, and it's quiet.
Yeah. You know I love my quiet. I was just saying that today. I was like, I'm becoming one of those old people that are like, get off my lawn. I love the quiet.
Yeah.
Ghost Adventures on the Travel Channel have investigated here, claiming that this location is an ancient Native American burial ground and is haunted.
Interesting.
Something else weird about the Grand Canyon. People visiting the Grand Canyon sometimes complain about physical ailments and anxiety, which is attributed to the Hopi god Massa, a.k.a. the Skeleton Man or the Keeper of Death, who is thought to preside over the canyon. Ooh. However, again, I couldn't find any first-hand accounts of this other than a news article of tourists getting sick with the norovirus, which is very common among hikers. Yeah. Not just in the Grand Canyon, but everywhere, because you can't wash your hands properly. Yeah. There's even signs on the Appalachian Trail about not spreading the norovirus because it's like so contagious. Yeah. Also, I must have missed it in here or accidentally deleted it, but there were also stories of people taking rocks and things home from the Grand Canyon and then mailing it back to the U.S. Parks Department saying that they thought that they had bad luck from an item that they took. Ooh. And they do. I do believe that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I would just, if I was there, I would just, to be safe, just say a little, thank you to the God that you mentioned there. Yeah. And, ask him to keep me safe, just to be safe, literally. I wish I had it. In that episode, the America Unearthed episode, they interviewed a Native American. I don't think he was of the Hopi tribe. I might be wrong. I think he was of a different tribe. But they asked him if the area was cursed, because people do say that they bring items and then they feel that they're cursed, which, by the way, is against the law. You're not allowed to take anything anyway. Right. He said that it's not so much of a curse. They're natural occurrences, he said, that could be seen as a curse. And they believe that it's a guardian or protector of the land that causes those things to happen. Yeah, like the land is disrupted, so the guardian is angry. Yeah. So the guardian of the Grand Canyon. I would love, love, love to go see it.
Yeah. I mean, this is weird, but my full length that I'm still mourning the loss over because I somehow deleted it and it was awesome, but it's going to come soon. I'm going to rewrite it, but that full length also takes place in Arizona.
No way.
Yeah. How weird.
We're going to have to go.
Yeah, it's just going to
I
to
need
happen.
like a solid 2 months.
I have
to
a friend
go to
that
the
lives
Southwest.
in Arizona, and she did say, Angelica, if you're listening, she did say that I could visit. So I'm sure you could also visit. And even if she like gave us, like, you know, even if we didn't stay with her, she could give us tours.
I looked before. Oh, I was looking when Chad asked me if I wanted to go on a trip with you. I was looking, and there's like all sorts of cool places you can stay.
Really?
Different like Airbnbs and stuff.
I know there was like, she put a Facebook reel up of Mars, Arizona. Have you ever heard?
No.
No, it's so fascinating.
Really?
I was in awe at the beauty of the Mars-like terrain. It was like amazing.
I've never been to a desert.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, there is some beautiful bodies of water. It's just not the ocean. I need the ocean in my life, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I couldn't live.
ocean.
I have never lived more than
Right. We
10
have
minutes
to be
from the
able to
ocean.
drive. Right. We have to be there quick.
yeah. Yeah.
But I would go. I mean, I never had interest before, but I would go.
I just want to see it and just
I
experience
just
it.
don't want anything to do with the animals and bugs that are there. Oh, that's Australia. That's Australia where everything tries to kill you. Literally
Yeah,
everything.
Australia is bad.
Yeah.
With that.
But Arizona's got, you know, the
Scorpions.
scorpions, the spiders, all set.
My son insisted he saw a scorpion in the backyard today. I was like, no, you probably didn't.
I'd be like, do you have a fever? Are you hallucinating?
Do we have I don't think we have scorpions.
No, but also we do have like all kinds of new weird shit. And this is so weird that you just brought this up. And this is so totally off topic, but kind of not because it's mysterious. But just today, I was thinking about stick bugs. I used to see them when I was small. Mm-hmm. They would legitimately look like a branch from a tree, but then they would get up and crawl away.
Yeah.
I used to see them all the time. I have not seen one since I was a small kid.
Yeah.
And today I was looking because there was like a rolled up leaf and I thought it was a praying mantis.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I like
your
jumped.
favorite.
Yeah. I jumped and was like, you're not a praying mantis, but I remember stick bugs and it's so weird.
I don't think I've seen a stick bug in a long time
I'm
either.
telling you. Like, you have seen them, though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was just about to be like,
Mandela
if nobody else,
effect.
yeah, if nobody else. But yeah, interesting. I don't know how we got to bugs, but no, because you said, you know, like, even if it's not indigenous to our area, it can come because we get new shit all the time.
Yeah.
Look at what was the hornets that we got?
Oh, the murder hornets.
The murder hornets.
Yeah.
They came out of who the fuck knows where.
Yeah.
That was like the biggest thing. Our biggest problem is like stink bugs where we live.
Mosquitoes.
Well, mosquitoes, yeah. I don't have a stink bug problem.
A stink bug won't kill you or hurt you
No,
at all.
no.
A mosquito will kill you.
But everybody last year was complaining. They just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I get
like,
them too.
I have legitimately never ever had stink bugs anywhere around my house, in my house. There was one here staring right into my eyes, right in
into
front
your
of me.
soul.
I
I
looked
remember
down and I jumped and flew at least like 12 feet off of the table.
I rescued you.
You did. You did. Yeah, so.
Bugs don't bother me.
Ugh. They're fine outside, but don't come in my house.
Yeah,
You do
I mean,
not
I don't
belong
want
there.
them in my house, but they don't bother me.
Yuck.
The only ones I don't really like are ants.
Yuck.
That's it.
I just don't like any of them.
I don't like them.
Ants are really scary looking when there's a magnifying glass, like what they
have
look
you-
like.
Speaking of mysterious, have you ever researched ants? This is so weird, but they're really cool.
Yeah, they do some insane
They
shit.
do some crazy shit.
Yeah, they are definitely like little warriors.
And I'm not going to do it justice, but I listened to a whole like 2-part series on stuff
ants.
you should know on ants and the stuff that they're able to do. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
We get some big spiders in here. We have wolf spiders.
Oof, God.
They're huge.
That's what cats are for.
Oh, yeah. Lala will stomp them and eat them. It's disgusting, honestly.
I love it.
She would starve to death if it wasn't for that.
I love it. A moth got into my house last night, because of course the light, and it was in my house for a whole 2 seconds before Raven, my cat, came running, leaped up in the air and grabbed it and crunched it and ate it.
Yeah.
Ate the shit out of that moth.
Sometimes
I love
if
it.
there's
I'm
a
like,
spider,
yes.
I know. I'm like, I don't kill them, but I will put Lala down in front of them and be like, here you go. And then watch her just stomp it and eat it with her paw.
It's all a part of life, That spider probably came back as like an eagle. So it's all good. Yeah, I did. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, it was okay.
Sing it again.
My voice cracked. No, we're good.
Bugs are fun to talk about.
Yeah, we should have a bug episode or not, because nobody will listen to it.
Yeah, no, probably not. No.
Anything else? Any other?
New things? No, not really.
Oh, we have a subscriber on Facebook.
I didn't know there was a such thing.
Yes.
Oh.
We have a subscriber now.
Are you going to give a shout out to the subscriber?
I'm going to give a shout out if I can.
That's cool.
Still waiting to be monetized. You know what I'm saying? Wish me some luck on that, Facebook.
If you're listening, Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. God, they're the freaking worst.
Here she comes. Here she comes.
I can't see anything. Why am I blind is a question. That's the real mystery.
That is a real mystery.
Why am I blind as fuck?
My favorite's when you ask me if your eyes look blind.
I feel like they do.
They don't.
Yeah, you can. I have a cataract.
No, don't even tell people that. Nobody would even notice. Now, if you tell people, they're going to be looking for it.
Yeah, they're going to diagnose
Now they're going
me.
to look for your cataract. They're going to call you out. They're going to tell you. That's why I'm hidden on TikTok, because I have glasses. I'd be a 4 eyes.
She just farted. Ew.
Oh, it's going to stink so bad.
It's going to smell
Dog
so
farts
bad.
are the worst. Why? Why did the digestive systems have to be this way?
When she goes up the stairs, she farts her whole way up the stairs. It's like, it's really funny. I'm trying to find our subscriber. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
What a nice way to make them feel special. 27,000 followers, though.
Woo!
Just keeps getting higher and higher.
Yes, thank you, everybody out there who listens to us now. We love and appreciate you.
A serious thank you. We have some new merch up.
We do.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing.
Yep. We got our Etsy shop. You got to check us out. Wicked Mysterious Co.
Thank you to our Facebook subscriber, Joseph Hyde.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you so much.
You are awesome.
Yes.
Really appreciate you.
More than you know. It means a lot.
Yeah. We'll never forget you, because you were the first on Facebook.
That's correct.
That's right.
Oh, I don't know why I'm still recording. Well, that's it.
All right. I was just thinking this morning, too, that we really should come up with, like, a better outro.
Why? You don't like...
Because we kind of just abruptly just say, like, okay, that's it. We're done.
Well,
like, no, I like the Stay Mysterious for sure, but I feel like we should have...
hoping you'd change that.
What? I think it's perfect. You don't like saying it together?
No, I've never liked it.
What?
I don't care, though.
All right, we have to ask.
We
have to ask people now. Let us know if you think our In Unison Stay Mysterious is whack or it's
hot or not.
Rad. I think it's awesome. It's the only
Whack
thing
or
you'll
rad?
give me that we can say together.
I told you we can still do it. I don't care.
Fucking fine. But we should come up with something that's like, you know, a little bit more profesh.
Like what?
Because look at our table and our recording studio area now. We're like looking all profesh. We gotta come up with something. Just a nice outro. Just a nice, let it roll off the tongue, you know. I don't know.
Well, that's it. See you later.
All right. See you later. Thanks for listening.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying that's
true.
our outro.
We should just call this now.
Yeah.
All right.
Just keep going and going.
Let's just be done.
Just keeps getting longer and longer.
All right. It was fun. It was a good one. It was a good topic. Yeah.
Do you think it's real, by the way? Do you think it happened?
I don't know about like the mummies part.
We'll
see you next week.
What is wrong with
afraid? All right. 1, 2, 3. Stay mysterious.